Hello.
Hello.
Oh, how's it going?
It's going okay.
That's good.
Hanging in there.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah.
So, Emily and I are back. Welcome back to the wonderful world of the flock. Now, we have our current projects, which we will come back and tell you about. Then some upcoming project plans that I think both Emily and I have to share with you. Plus another Flocktober update and a Frog It or Finish It 28-day challenge update. And then we're gonna do a little bit about what's new in the shop, and then we'll wrap up just reminding you about some of the things that you're gonna wanna make sure that you are tuned in for the month of October, which we'll keep reminding you, because hopefully there's more and more of you every time that we do this.
Yes.
That's the hope. Okay, so we will be right back, and then we will get right into all the other fun stuff today. So, Emily, what are you working on? I've never seen this before. This is a fresh new thing.
I have got a lot of balls on the go right now.
Wow. Emily, this is a family-friendly podcast. No, it's not. Don't. Okay.
This is still my simple sweater.
Yes.
I finished the back
Ooh.
and I am almost at the neck shaping on the front, and I'm just doing a
fade?
What's it? Fade.
A fade.
Yeah. So
Okay.
there's a lot of. That's why there's so many balls.
So many balls.
So I'm
glad you keep saying that.
Yeah, I'm starting to go into puffball.
Oh, so exciting. Well, that is good news. Now, somebody has just come in. So we are either going to continue recording if we get a thumbs up from the lovely lady down the way. Oh, you know what, actually?
Keep knitting.
I've just realized that I've had music playing in the background as that little nugget. Great news. So Emily was talking about balls.
Yeah, juggling my balls.
So you're doing the fade?
Yes, so just before the neckline
Separation.
stuff happens,
Beautiful.
I'm changing into the paler shade, which on the back came out really pretty.
I actually quite love how the whole
excited.
fade has come out.
Yeah.
It looks very Emily.
And it's very subtle,
Yeah.
the change between the colours, so I'm very excited about that.
Excellent work.
And then it's just the sleeves, so hopefully not too far.
Great.
Yeah.
Bang, bang. Amazing. And that's really your only whip right now? Because the other one's finished, and we're going to talk about her finished project a
I
little
also
later.
started the Bella Rose shawl, the yellow.
Okay,
Ashley,
yes.
But I haven't done any more on that.
That's the Ambo O'Brien one, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Feel your pain.
Well, it's just a
I
bit,
too am knitting a big yellow shawl.
and it's a bit much for me concentrating. I'm trying to get through this.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I am also trying desperately to get through something. And this is the opposite problem, where it's almost so simple that it's actually stopping me from finishing it. Oh, but we are so close. So I, on last Wednesday, was on color E. I am now on color B. I'm knitting the just color B section of my What the Fade shawl. So I decided to try to clean up some of my whips heading into Flocktober and also Mystery Knit Along. And because I really need to start doing a thing where I'm separating my personal knitting, my professional knitting, and my work knitting. Now, personal knitting are projects that I want to make, most likely that other designers have designed. Professional knitting are things that I need to make for the shop and for the flock online and for this podcast, because believe it or not, some of this stuff I do just knit to see your guys' response. And the final one are the designs that I'm doing myself. And I need to be dividing my time across those three things. And right now, I am. Not in a healthy or thoughtful way, but I realized that's what I was doing, because I have one of my designs, the high straight pullover in Park Life, on the needles. On the second piece, I haven't gone any farther because I pivoted back to getting this finished, this What the Fade, so that I can finish the guide and knit along for it and tell people all about the experience of knitting it, which overall has been really amazing, especially when you read the pattern. Hot tip, yikes. And yes, and then my third project is my Svenson, which is by Jared Flood, and that's more personal knitting because we can't get that yarn any longer. It's discontinued, and I love the pattern and I've wanted one for a long time. So overall, I'm feeling very good about my three whips. I feel like this is coming along as quickly as a 550 stitch shawl can come along at this point.
Is that how long each row is?
That is each row.
Oh.
So the nice part is that I'm in the final single color I'm about to come to the final fade.
Okay.
So I'm only now 4.5 rows away from the final fading section, and then the final solid color section is shorter than all the others, and then there's an I-cord bind off, and I quite like a big I-cord bind off, so I'm very much looking forward to it. But this is definitely something where you have to be sitting and staring at a television to successfully knit it, because it is not thrilling. It is not the world's most thrilling knitting. Now, that's my whips, that's my situation. We both are about to go into Flocktober, and we're gonna talk about Flocktober, but I also have some non-Flocktober things that I'm gonna be knitting that are Flock Online things, because the Flock Online, while participating in Flocktober, doesn't actually stop for me. I need to keep producing stuff for that. So I have a design sample and a new pair of socks to start. What?
Exciting.
I know. I am very, very excited. And so what I've got here is I'm gonna be knitting a new pair of socks for myself in the potluck color. This is my birthday potluck. Now I discovered, I don't know if Emily discovered, that in order for this to zoom well, for the camera to zoom well onto things we hold up to it, we do have to cover both of our faces, Emily. You got it right. And very boldly on the callback, if you're not watching these in order, you should be. In the last podcast, I very boldly took something from Emily and said, no, it's okay. I know where the camera is. Now, I did know where the camera was, but I definitely didn't understand how to make it zoom properly. So that was an opportunity for growth. And I put a nice little note down at the bottom under the description of the podcast saying, I definitely didn't know where that was. Full disclosure. So I'm gonna hold this up close. Hopefully it zooms in somewhat. It's still gonna be focused on our faces. I'm sorry everyone, but you'll get an idea of the colors. We are working through these one at a time. If you want to volunteer, just as a side note, to come be the camera person for this, we will not compensate you in any way, but we could use a camera person. So if you somehow randomly are down with the technology and have nothing to do Wednesday between 1 and 1:30 every week, we're waiting for you. Please come help us.
Not specific at all. We can totally flexible.
We've got lots of different times we could do this. We do not. I'm not carving out any more time for this. You live with what you've got. Now I'm holding the very restrained. I'm holding the very restrained Vibe Check on the super restrained yarn Plump, because I'm gonna go home and make myself a big condom top hat in this, and I'm very excited because I wrote a cowl pattern, and now I'm thinking that maybe I should take. Oh, I think I'm gonna do something very bad. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be leaving. I do. I think I'm gonna be leaving here with a four skeins of Vibe Check.
Oh no.
Oh no. I'm so short on yarn at home too. Like it's a serious problem. I'm lying. I got an entire bag of yarn in the mail yesterday, and there's more on the way already. Anyway.
It's research, right?
Actually, the last one is research, and it's for a very fun thing that I'm doing in the Flock Online next year, which all of you will just have to wait and see, because I finished planning the Flock Online's whole next year yesterday. Exciting. And I'm going to share the master planning document with Emily the next time that we're actually both here and not insanely busy, which we're going to work on this. This is an Ethan problem, not an Emily problem. I need to find a space in both of our weeks for us to have a weekly catch up in a meeting, because right now it's a lot of very random texting that I'm initiating, and if you've ever texted with me, I'm not good at it because I just stop replying.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He doesn't want to talk about that anymore.
If it gets too many, I'm just like, oh, this could have been a phone call, but I also don't want to talk on the phone. So like, I prefer to talk, like there's no good solution except for a face-to-face meeting. And part of the like thing over the last couple of weeks has been me trying to like not be here all the time. Okay, so all of that being said, we're gonna be right back to have a little chat to you about our Flocktober plans, because this is just fun things I'm doing in the meantime. Yikes. Oh no, the camera app closed. Ooh. I'll leave this in, it'll be funny for you. Okay, we are back again. Other visitors came into the shop. It was actually perfect because we were wrapping it anyway. Now, Emily, what have you got to show the other people that came last week, and then we didn't have any by the time we recorded the podcast? Ooh.
And now we have them again.
They're back.
They came very quickly, the second
Yes.
lot. Like, I ordered it on Friday and they were here on Monday.
Oh, yes, they were, because I put them out.
I was like, how did that happen?
Realized after I put them out, I don't think I put prices on any
No,
of
you
them.
didn't.
That's awkward.
It's okay. I went and hunted through the things that you put out.
Oh, yikes. Whoopsies.
Anyway.
I had other things going on.
We got more gleaners.
Yay! I'm like the worst retail assistant in the world. I'm just like, oh, I don't know. What can this cost? $10 for a banana? Yes, so gleaners, 2 sizes. Gleaners are a great way to remove pills and fuzz and other things from your knitwear. It comes with multiple different heads, so you have some for lace, some for fine knits, some for chunkier knits, and then it also comes, at least the big one has oh, they do both have it now, great. So the travel one and the larger one, it's a form factor different now, and they both come with an anti-lint one as well. So after you're finished cleaning, you just go over it with the de-linter, and it takes it all off. I prefer this to any other tool. You may remember, I previously worked somewhere where I sold a different thing, and I'm gonna tell you a fun fact about me and the sweater stone. I never sweater stoned my own things because I didn't like using it. I made someone else do it every single time. I'm not kidding.
I feel like someone said it gave off a weird smell as well.
It does, because it was made out of a pumice rock.
Yeah.
Which I have used previously in other applications, mostly to clean griddles and grills in an industrial kitchen setting. So this was a strain. But these ones, the sweater stones worked great, don't get me wrong. I personally prefer these. I have one, actually. Like, I own one that I think I might have paid money for. Either that or Gleaner gave it to me.
I've set aside a shop one for us to show people with.
Great. And I'm going to bring in a jumper for us to use for that. And then we're going to make a fun, like an actual fun infomercial, like a 50s style infomercial.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I've started actually writing a script. It's going to be a good time. And there's going to be a visual joke in it. And I think it's quite funny.
It's like we need some kind of turntable for you to stand on. So you like come around.
Oh, okay, yes.
Like a Lazy Susan situation.
I'm going to show you what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you about it after this, and I think you're going to laugh. Okay, great. So we have gleaners in. They're available. You can order them online or come in and pick one up. Or you can order online and come pick it up. That's also an option. What else have we got?
Just this little book.
It's a great little book. I'm a huge fan. If you are a Flock Online member, I did a review of this book last week. This is Seasonless by Karen Templar, which is a new book from Karen Templar, who's the founder of the Fringe Supply Co. and Fringe and Friends blog. I am also in this book, full disclosure. So,
look, it's
yay! So this was an amazing opportunity. Sue reached out looking for people to do some styling options for the book. And I was one of the people. It was really exciting and super fun to work with. We are ordering these books directly from Sue. They are bilingual, so they are both in Japanese and in English, which I think is a great way to present knitting books in the modern era. The patterns are extremely wearable. They're all based off of a common set of patterns that you apply different finishes to. They're very, very knittable. And you knit one swatch for all the patterns that you're going to do in that style. And we'll be right back. Ta-da! Okay, so those were a couple of things that we've got new in store. Now, we're gonna cover over our 2 big events that are running this month and next month. So this current month, right now, is September 2023, the year of our Lord. And next month is going to be October 2023, the year of our Lord. Now, should I have done it in Latin instead?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought that's what your face was about. Are you sure you didn't want me to do it in Latin? Would you prefer that I use the updated Common Era situation? Okay, well,
are we talking like Taylor Swift eras or something else?
I don't recognize Taylor Swift as an accurate marker of the historical period, so no. Now, are you using the puffball one? I feel like I was responsible for checking.
I'm using the puffball.
Okay, great. So, we are running in September, every September, there's a 28-day Frog It or Finish It challenge. This is designed to help us get ready emotionally, spiritually, physically, householdily for the Mystery Knit Along with Stephen West let's not talk about that. For Stephen West's Mystery Knit Along in October, along with the most important annual celebration in your lives, Flocktober. If you're not aware of what Flocktober is, here's a quick rundown. You have a challenge before you, knitters watching this podcast, and if you're not knitting and you're crocheting or you're weaving, you also have a challenge before you. In 31 days, from the 1st of October to the 31st of October, probably a little bit longer for those who are doing the Mystery Knit Along by Stephen West, and I'll explain why in a moment, you are going to knit a project inside of this time period to be eligible for some of our fabulous prizes. And we do actually have fabulous prizes this year, and I'm very excited because they are physical things. You're winning as something.
Yes.
You're not winning as shopping spree, you're winning as something. So we have categories for Flocktober, and this Flocktober, we've got some fun categories. But before we get into the Flocktober categories, frog it or finish it, you have an update.
I do.
Did you both frog and finish this? If I understood correctly what happened?
Yes, so I frogged what it was, and then used the yarn, and then finished something else. I used half the yarn. I swapped out the contrast colour. Anyway, so I was. This was my first colour work, which I was a bit intimidated by. So I just picked this random cowl pattern where it was just like 3 and 3 and like a checkerboard situation. But I was using Spincycle and like a pastel, and the colour I'd picked wasn't really showing enough contrast, and it just wasn't really working. But it did give me the practice in colour work and getting to doing it with 2 hands.
Yes.
So it did what I wanted it to do. It just didn't look how I wanted it to look.
Right.
So then I went on a hunt and found this pattern, which I might not say correctly because it's a scientific word. I think it's Cecropia. Is that a word? Do you understand? I don't know. It's a moth/butterfly cowl.
It's very cute. And it's in Vibe Check?
Yes, Vibe Check, and then in some Nouveau that I had, which unfortunately you can't get anymore.
Discontinued.
But I really like how the black contrasts with the...
Yes.
It's very Emily circa 14 years old.
Yeah.
Colour palette, which, you know...
Pastel
that's
golf.
good. Yeah.
That's actually exactly how I pictured you at that age, with pastel golf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really pleased with how it came out. It looks like I did something real fancy because it's Spincycle.
Yes.
But it's just
one color work.
One colour, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's all these fun little floats on the other side.
Yes, it looks really pretty. I love wrong side Spincycle.
Yeah, well, because you can actually still see the design.
Yeah.
Like you can see the moth.
It's a negative imprint.
Yeah, it's cool.
I think you did a great job, and I'm glad that the Frog It or Finish It challenge led to you building a new skill and doing something that you really wanted with yarn that you really wanted to use. Yeah. So I don't think... This to me is the ultimate sort of success story from running these sorts of events. It's when people end up doing something that they really want. So sometimes I know I'm definitely skeptical when people are like, let's do a challenge as a group, because most of the time it's aiming towards something specific for the person proposing the challenge. But in this case, this really is a genuine general invitation to all of you to kind of come into the way that we work and how, well, I guess really me, it's how I work through my projects, how I assess and deal with things. And then I've now forced, with love and care, Emily to do the same thing. Yay. And you love it. Like Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah, okay, sorry about that.
I feel like we need to name a pen Stockholm Syndrome.
I now have a lot of thoughts, and I'm gonna have to share them off air. None of them involve petite knits. They all involve petite knits. Okay. Woo! Great. Derailed. Now, you have done your frog it.
Yes.
And a finish it, and you're doing another finish it, so that you're ready, prepared, emotionally, physically, spiritually, householdly, for
Flocktober.
Yes, there we go. I should have queued this up.
Pause.
No, I didn't queue this up earlier. They're gonna love it. Like, I love it this way. It's good. Now, your project, some of the yarn we thought would be here today.
Yes. It is supposed to be here today.
Yeah, and we also thought the yarn for my project would be here today because they're in the same box.
Yeah.
The box has not arrived, so we're going to be talking about this again next week. Join us for that. But it's a great way to announce some categories because Emily and I are each helming a category, sort of on purpose, sort of accidentally. Now, I will be helming firmly the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along Geo Gradient category. But I have a little bit of news because I had to think. I had a very long thinking session.
I mean, you've got 5 days of Flocktober before that launches. You could make a whole.
Well, I'm going
wardrobe,
to.
right?
I'm going to, but we'll get to yours. No, I had to think about the category.
Oh, okay.
I've decided to make a small amendment to my rule because one of the keys to being successful as a human being is being ready to make changes even when the change is uncomfortable. I've decided to make a change to this category to make things better for everyone, I think. So I'm going to explain my change to Emily and you live at the same time. She doesn't know about this unless she went and read something that I wrote yesterday on the Flock Online, and she didn't. So the change to the Stephen West category is very, very simple and is as follows. I am trying to get everybody hyped and excited and joining in on the Geo Gradient. I think it's going to be a very good time, but I think there are a lot of people who want to participate in a mystery knit along sort of category like we have in Flocktober this year without the mystery, because for some people that is stressful and not good, and this is fun. And people should just be allowed to have the things that they want and have them be fun without it being some sort of like test of will and whether or not you can suffer enough to enjoy something. And I think that is bullshit. So we will not be doing that. Instead, if you want to participate in the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along category, you can knit any Stephen West Mystery Knit Along shawl. So including Geo Gradient, ready for this? There are 15 of them. This is the 14th year, but 1 year has a double. So any Stephen West Mystery Knit Along shawl, which he has just done a whole big thing about the history of the Mystery Knit Along, so all that information is up very easily accessible through his website, through Stephen and Penelope, and I will be putting this information up in the Flock Online, and I'm going to do a whole presentation about all the different Mystery Knit Along shawls and why you should or shouldn't knit them. So this takes it to a very beginner level shawl like Earth and Sky, and we've seen people who we know are not great at finishing projects get one done, and all the way up to, you know, possibly the craziest of the crazy, which is, I think, actually shawlography.
Twist and Turn?
Twist and Turn wasn't crazy, it was just tedious. That first section for me was a hard pass. Had I seen it beforehand, I wouldn't have even started the Mystery Knit Along, quite frankly. But I had such a fun time with both shawlography and Starflake, and I love my slip stitch extravaganza shawl. I wear it all the time. It's giant and comfortable, and I want to actually make a second one.
I'm quite tempted by Starflake, actually. Like, I don't.
Yes.
I assume it has brioche.
There's a garter stitch option, but it does have brioche.
I've got a whole bundle on Ravelry, and I'm very focused on quilt-inspired knitting and crochet at the moment.
Okay.
It's like, it's just, I need it.
Well, I need to make a new Starflake this year, and I've been picking out yarn, so maybe we can have a fun chat about Starflake as part of next week. What if we had the freedom to knit Starflake with whatever we wanted? What would we use? Spoiler alert: mine involves Spincycle. I know, right? You're shocked.
And Cecropia.
She got it right off the hop, everyone. I'm gonna knit the world's most reasonable leap, right?
Color me shocked.
I'm famous for my budget-friendly knitting. That's what people are here. Okay, anyway. Moving right along. So that's the Stephen West category. I will be helming that up. There is also a crochet category, which is its own category. We really are trying to bring crocheters in.
Yes. I might also do a crochet.
Oh, wow.
There's like a little tank top thing that I want to make that hopefully will be quick.
Hot.
Definitely quick. It's only in 4-ply. That won't take long.
Crochet tank tops. Yeah, I'm seeing someone crochet a blanket right now in 4-ply, and it's going super fast.
But
so
it's
quickly.
not like a on its own top. It's wearing over things top, like bestie situation. You know, it has insane sleeves that I feel like as soon as I show you, you're gonna be like, "What are you doing?" But I'm not making the sleeves. I just need to preface this: I'm not making the sleeves.
Okay, now
they're like, I'm not making them.
The final category, which Emily's yarn to show you what she's making, is not here, so it's not helpful. But I have gathered yarn because I might do something silly.
Oh.
Yeah, so our final category is Alicia Plummer, whose name I just somehow managed to mispronounce like it was my first day speaking English. Alicia Plummer. Oh, this is staying in. That's not great. Alicia, if you're watching, I'm so sorry. I love your patterns. Please don't hate me. It's because I'm going to ask her to come on the podcast today, so not the best. At least no one can say I'm not authentic. I love Alicia Plummer's patterns. I've knit 2 men's ease pullovers and 1 bibliophile 2 pullover. And you know what I've discovered? The key is to make another bibliophile. I need another one.
Yeah.
For certain. I'm sure that I need it. I picked 3 things to show the people. Now, Alicia has a big design catalog. One of the biggest ones in knitting that I could think of, which is part of why I picked her. Fun fact, I picked her in part because she has previously done patterns for Brooklyn Tweed's Wool People, which is how I found out about Alicia Plummer. I really, really like her cedarwood cardigan, which would be great in Aspen 8-ply product placement if you're looking for something to do in a woolen spun yarn. Now, I'm going to be knitting mine in a worsted spun yarn, and I have picked 3 stunners. One of them I don't think is going to arrive in a timely enough fashion for me to work with, which I'm disappointed about. One of which I already have the yarn, and I had purchased it for something else, and I've changed my mind 17 times, and I might use it for this instead. One of which I just think is a really good color on me, and that I don't knit with often, and probably should be wearing a lot more of, because I look great in green. I have green eyes. This was not rocket science.
Do you know what's funny? When you picked that, I thought you were going to use them together, and I was excited about them together.
Well, it would make a very cute stripe situation.
Yeah, I was like, could you make the bibliophile like an Agnes?
Yeah, I could Agnes the bibliophile.
Yeah.
I won't be doing that. No. That's an insane idea, but I feel where that's coming from.
Yeah.
I think most likely it's going to end up being one of these 2, although I would love for it to be this one. This Otomatata Station Wool is amazing, but I already have one super soft, amazing one in the Wild Earth Naturals in a neutral natural shade, and I think having one that's one of these 2 would be really, really great in my wardrobe. So that's bibliophile 2. One of the reasons that I picked Alicia Plummer this year as well, which I really appreciate about her, is she has a clear system of dividing patterns between men's patterns, women's patterns, and children's patterns. But if you go in to the notes of most of her newer patterns, I'm not going to pretend like I went way back in time and looked this up. She also now, I'm saying now because she's probably been doing this for quite a while, she discusses the shape of the garment and the differences between the different ones that she has. That's my thought. So what I like about it is, a women's graded pattern would be set with these proportions and these kind of shapes to the final garment, where a men's pattern one would be graded with these proportions with this kind of shape to the final garment. And then she models them on men's and women. She usually models all of her men's patterns as well, which I think is quite helpful visually. So that's a big part of my reason for picking her. Also, she's worked with a lot of yarns that we love and sell. Spincycle, Kashgora, yarns that we love but don't sell, Brooklyn Tweed. I don't know if people know this about me, but I love Brooklyn Tweed yarns and patterns, and I think they are geniuses.
Oh, I wouldn't have thought that.
I know, right? It's never come up before. Especially not anything about a specific Brooklyn Tweed collection. I've never talked about that. So this is my possible for a second Flocktober project. I might try to hold myself to one Flocktober project and be the reasonable, rational person that we know lives deep inside of me.
I guess it depends how quickly you get through the clues, because if you're like waiting around for another clue.
Well, this is kind of the thing. This isn't as big of a shawl as he's done previous years, so I have high hopes that I can get through it, but I also know, as I've discovered with this What the Fade, that sometimes if it's just a whole bunch of really boring knitting with nothing going on, I lose all will to live, let alone motivation to knit the thing that I'm making.
You need a complicated resting.
Yeah, I need a complicated resting project, which is quite awkward. So those are my Flocktober plans. I know you also have an Alicia Plummer Flocktober plan.
Yes.
And I think we should save it and show people and talk about it all at once. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay, so that's my Flocktober plan. I'm doing Geo Gradient in this yarn. Looks amazing, right?
It's beautiful.
And
I love the color on you.
Thank you. And then I'm also doing, just to be clear, this is a courier problem, everyone. right? Emperor has no yarn. And I'm gonna do most likely a bibliophile, probably in one of these two, maybe the Automatata station. Apart from that, I think that's actually everything. We made it to the end, Emily.
Yes.
I have yet again forgotten earlier in the podcast to ask people to please like this podcast, share and subscribe. I might go back and put another one in. We might just do a quick boop boop back in and out with just that. The more of you there are, the more that we get to do this, and we really appreciate that from both a financial and a personal standpoint, where we want to be providing you with more. We hope that you're having a good time. Emily might not care if you're having a good time. That's what her face, no, I'm kidding. We hope that you're having a good time with us, and we want to do more of this. So please, if you can, spread the word, like this podcast, buy my patterns on Ravelry. Everything helps.
Also, sign up to our newsletter.
Yes, please sign up to the newsletter.
Because that is how you're going to find out when we have new products coming in.
Yes.
So that's the best way. We get a lot of people saying, oh, you're getting more of this, or you're getting more of this. That is when we're going to tell you about it.
Yeah, because the podcast is more about what we're doing.
Yeah.
And that's our focus on this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for watching. We hope you have an amazing day of knitting ahead of you. And we will talk to you all very, very soon.
Bye.